Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 1974's The Working Girls. And this is written and directed by Stephanie Rothman. And this is put out by Code Red on Blu ray. This is the back here. And this is a Code Red Blu-ray that I recently was able to pick up, and it says they'll do anything for money, and no job too hard to handle. A film by Stephanie Rothman, 1974's The Working Girls. And look at that amazing artwork that you just don't get in movies today. This particular film has, as it states here, Elvira, Cassandra Peterson, famous for her role as Elvira, and this is basically her only nude footage on film, as it says on the back of this Blu-ray. Now, this film also really, as a way, a lead, stars Sarah Kennedy, who you'll know from my other YouTube review of a film called Telephone Book. Sarah Kennedy. That's where I first saw Sarah Kennedy, was in Telephone Book, and I had no idea she was in this film when I bought it. And what a delight it was to see her again, especially in another type of lead role. A fantastic actress, just a wonderful person, a wonderful character actor, and really kind of carrying some vibes from Telephone Book into The Working Girls. So let's get into this film here, 1974's The Working Girls. Never heard of this film before. Seems like a very rare film, and this is a film that has such a good vibe, a good spirit, a good feel, a good atmosphere, where we have Sarah Kennedy playing somewhat of a lonesome drifter in Los Angeles, and looking to get a job, looking to make money, and she finds a girl, or actually two other girls, who are living in a house, and she lives with them. One girl is an artist, one girl is a waitress, and it's within this house and the other people that soon live there, and the experiences that all of the girls have with trying to make ends meet financially and emotionally, that we get the story and the very rich, complex characters of The Working Girls. Let's get into this film, because this film is nothing like what you might expect from the title, and maybe even from the artwork. Let's get into this film, because there are many surprises to be had as soon as you push play for about 80 minutes. First and foremost, the music. The music of this film is very rich. There's a lot of variety, there's a lot of diversity, and there's a lot of sound, lots of music. We have banjos, harmonicas, guitars, country feels. We also have kind of jazzy, sleazy feels. But we also have some dark 70s exploitation feels, bass-driven feels that almost reminded me at times of Ennio Morricone. So lots of variety, lots of diversity. We also have some very jovial, good-spirited, fun 70s instrumental type, jazzy, exploitation-y type music that has some horns in it, and just a rhythm, just a beat that you could picture one of the characters in the film walking down the street to. I will tell you right off the bat that Stephanie Rothman, it says, as she wrote and directed this film, what a fantastic job she did. The writing of this film is just unbelievable. There is such great dialogue. There is such great just rhythm and wit, and just interesting conversations, interesting situations, interesting characters that you cannot necessarily pin down. Great acting. And it's really a special film. It's a very unique film because the film has heart. It also has some sexploitation. It has an amazing story. Has an open-endedness that you feel, that you experience from 1974. You get a great snapshot of 1974 Los Angeles, uh, and you get the struggles, um, the realness, the fun, the banter, the twists, the turns. You know, this film has a lot of different genres going in. I mean, right off the bat, when you see the title of the film, you see the cover of the film, you're thinking this is a sexploitation film. You know, but it's more than that. There's more going on in this film than just that. This is a sexploitation film, but it's um, really kind of regulated to one area. The film also has crime. It has some violence, some dark moments, but also some really good people, which is not typical in a lot of 70s exploitation films. Some really fun people that you can't wait to see on the screen again. Um, you know, violence wise, we have a pretty brutal fight in this film. We also have a pretty shocking kind of violence towards women, and not in the typical way, not in the rape way, but in another type of way. Um, that kind of the character feels even more, even emotionally as well. Um, we have some blood, some some open wounds, some things like that. Um, Sexually speaking, the interesting thing is that it's really regulated just to topless nudity, and Cassandra Peterson's character, Elvira, and another one of the girls that lives in the house. Essentially, there's a strip club. That one of the girls works at as a waitress, and it's at that strip club that you get the topless nudity and the beautiful backdrop, the shiny backdrop, and kind of a bathing suit bottom or almost a thong type of deal, and even a kind of a pool sex scene where you see topless nudity as well. You know, the strip club really reminded me of kind of the magic shop in the film Desperately Seeking Susan. I thought that was just, it just gave me those vibes, those city vibes of that everybody's clapping, the red tables and the people sitting and the maybe red carpeted walls. I don't think that was in there, but just that vibe. You can almost smell the place, you know. Now, style wise, there's this amazing shot at this women's kind of barber shop or something like this, where it's just an amazing shot with a group of mirrors that I think most people would just miss, and I did not. It was amazing. There's also some slow motion. There's some interesting. There's like one really interesting fade in the film that I noticed. And a really unique opening title screen that has to do with the storyline of the film, and it's done in a kind of artistically like graphic art type of way that was really original and very unique and really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film where you're not expecting essentially what you're going to be getting. There's a lot of twists and turns in this film, and Sarah Kennedy's character, the girl from Telephone Book, um, she has a way of acting. She has a way of playing her characters that definitely connects a bit to Telephone Book, and she is just unbelievable to watch and to listen to her kind of high-pitched voice, and to try to figure out her personality, to try to figure out her character and who she is and what she's doing. From the beginning of the film, you're with her, but you're not exactly sure who she is. And even by the end of the film, you're still figuring that out. Um, you got this really, really cool kind of apartment house. I guess it's an apartment with a body of water kind of outside the window, and tons of artwork inside. And there's an artist who lives there. And it's a really cool kind of group living situation. Um, and the interesting thing is that there is kind of full nudity from men in the film. I mean, Stephanie Rothman's a female director, female writer, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I mean, you're not seeing their penises, but you see their butts and stuff. But it has to do with art a little bit inside the house. And it's just a great house. It's a great living situation. It's some interesting relationship dynamics and some really interesting and fun vibes inside of this apartment house, I guess. And it just feels right. The whole movie just feels right. You can almost see this film. I always say this to people about exploitation films and these unknown exploitation, sexploitation, all these types of films. I always say, these are such excellent films, and this one in particular, that you could see this film being in mainstream theaters. If it, they would have to put in tons, millions more money. But what great writing in this film! Just excellent, excellent writing and excellent vibes. There's really some good-natured vibes in this film. I love the strip club owner. He's a great guy. Um, there's a bit of some darkness in this film, involving crime, involving extortion, involving um, violence, and kind of stealing, stolen goods, and a bit of mystery involved in that as well. And a very interesting love triangle as well, earlier on in the film. Uh, we also have some twists and turns, some very weird, interesting characters. This one very wealthy man who has his office in a limousine, in the back seat of a limousine, and he looks like he could be the kind of guy that could live in his mother's basement playing video games all day. So really unique characters, and interesting characters. There is a great sequence taking in the idea of fear in front of people and picturing them all naked. That was a very interesting sequence in this film as well. And actually, you can see a piece of that on the back of this Blu-ray right there. Those people. You even see her holding a gun. Oh, see, you're seeing some situations here, and there's Sarah Kennedy, and there's Elvira, right there. So this is 1974's The Working Girls. The Blu-ray put out by Code Red. I don't know if there was ever a DVD that was put out, but this is the Blu-ray, and really, really some awesome, awesome stuff going on here. I got to tell you, this is actually a a print from the director from her private UCLA archival print. Wow. Looks great. It looks also a little bit rough too. It looks like a real print, so that gives it some good energy, good vibes. This is The Working Girls, folks. What a wild, interesting ride it was. It ended too short for me. I was expecting it to go on for hours. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like The Working Girls 1974. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.